I'm Ashmita, and as I stand here, this is a bittersweet moment for me. This is a symbolic moment as I stand here in two capacities. I'm strategic advisor to Women for Change, but I'm also a survivor. My story is simple. I was introduced to a man in 2006. I did not like him, and I respectfully declined his advances. Like a true gentleman, he acknowledged this and we moved on. But we moved on with different plans. What I didn't realize is that I had become a challenge that he planned to conquer at any cost. A few days later, my drink was spiked. He violated me, fulfilling his conquest. He would follow up with taunts and mock me for the bits that I remembered. He called me Vicky as a shortened name for victim. I was trapped and I was alone, not knowing who to tell. And instead of hating him, I hated myself because now I had to live with this thing that I couldn't separate from my identity. I identified only as his victim. And when I looked in the mirror, my pain wouldn't let me see the strong, incredible person that had survived. I didn't want to live, but I was too weak to go through with that plan. I ended up in hospital with PTSD, and I just kept running from myself while being in therapy for over a year. Over the next few years, I became this powerful woman at work, sitting in boardrooms, shaping the direction of the economy and the country, not even considering my abuse, thinking that I had my healing in the bag. I thought I'd moved on from this experience until I found myself in yet another relationship with someone that I trusted with the story. He knew about my experience and he used it to violate me too, and to keep me in a 4-year cycle of self-doubt and worthlessness. I can confirm that no one is exempt from abuse. Abuse does not care about your status. It doesn't care about the power that you yield in this country. It will come after you. But I survived yet again. This wouldn't have been possible without my faith in God, support structures, my access to life-saving mental health support, my community this time, and most importantly, my voice. I had had enough. I felt like I needed to do something, so I did. This led me to sharing my story and using it to create tangible ways to make the world a better place. I stand here today having built organizations, brands that restore dignity to thousands of people. I've headed up billions of rands worth of business segments in South Africa. I've built economic infrastructure in 14 townships. And I'm currently building an economic platform that will interrupt generational cycles of poverty, all with the continued focus of restoring dignity and advocating for human rights. And most importantly, I love unconditionally God, myself, and every single person I encounter. When I look back, I wonder what I would have achieved if none of this happened. And then I realized that I probably wouldn't be right here in front of you telling you how I made it and that it is going to be okay. I wouldn't go back and trade that trauma because I see now that it is necessary to fight this fight for my women and children who either didn't survive or are struggling to. And even more so for our children, right? For our babies who can't speak for themselves. I'm here today for all of us. I'm here to stand in the gap for anyone with a story big or small, anyone who has been dishonored, or who has anyone violate them. We are here and we see you. I no longer identify as his victim or his survivor. I identify as who God called me to be. And that identity is to lead people out of their quiet traumas into a world where we stand together boldly knowing that this is not an individual problem, guys. It's everyone's problem. Because together we can do anything. Nothing can defeat us when we come into agreement that this belongs to us, the problem and the solution. I'm here today healed, happy, and whole. And when I say me, I'm saying we. Because when we come together, we can do anything. A powerful woman who survives can do anything. She can end up standing in front of the union buildings saying she's not okay with the state of the country and that we need to do something about it. My story is an anomaly, I know. A lot of people don't end up here. They don't end up alive. I recognize my privilege. I recognize my power. But I want to use that privilege and power to ensure that women and children don't need to have violence as part of their story. If it is the case, though, then I want to know that that's not where it ends. The necessary tools and resources have to be made available. That's how I survived. And that can only become a reality if done by you, our honorable ministers, and our president. Healing is not an event. It is an ongoing process, and that means we need to support organizations like Women for Change who are standing in the gap and make sure that they can provide the holistic support and healing that our country needs. We need you to see us, Mr. President. I wish you were here so that I could say this to you. We need you to see us in unbearing the truth of violence that we face in this country. Acknowledging that we are vulnerable and getting more and more vulnerable every minute of the day, and exponentially so. But most importantly, we need you to keep us safe. Please heed our call for no bail, no parole, because you have the power to save our lives.